What is going on, Laker fans? Thank you very much for tuning in. A little Lakers Talk Daily, doing it from one of our offices here. So just using one of the offices that we got here at the station. I appreciate you guys being a part of the show. It's the first time you've been on the channel. We would greatly appreciate for you to subscribe here on our ESPNLA YouTube page. Monday through Friday, we're putting out content around Lakers basketball. Okay, a couple of things I want to get into. And this is going to be more predominantly around Anthony Davis and his performance last night against the Brooklyn Nets. We know what AD did. You've heard those numbers probably all day today. 37 points and 18 rebounds for AD, 15 to 25 from the field. AD was the best player on the basketball floor at Crypto.com last night, and we're talking about Kevin Durant being on the floor as well. So that obviously says just how good he was yesterday. Here's my question to Laker fans here. I'm not saying you got to put up 37 and 18 every single night. Not saying that. I understand that that's not realistic and that does not happen typically in the NBA. However, what I'm hoping for from Anthony Davis, and I think every Laker fan out there is, especially at this stage of LeBron's career, can you be the best player on this Lakers team every single night or most nights? Can you be the best player on the basketball floor on most nights? I get it. There's great players out there. Luka's amazing. Giannis is amazing. Joel Embiid is amazing. Jokic is amazing. Go down the list. We know all the great players that are in the NBA. But Anthony Davis is supposed to be somewhere in that conversation. Hell, you don't even have to be a top 5 player in the NBA. Can you be a top 10 player in the NBA this season for the Lakers? You know, a lot of times he puts up some stats. Not stats like yesterday, because stats like yesterday, that was real deal. 37 and 18, that's a real deal stat line right there. But sometimes AD will have 23 and 9 or 22 and 10 or something like that. But you don't feel him. You don't feel his presence. You don't feel Anthony Davis through the 48 minutes. You don't feel AD at the end of a game just completely taking over and basically telling the other team, I don't care what you throw at me. I don't care what you do. I'm going to walk away in these final 2 minutes and win the game. I'll use an example. On Friday night, Lakers took on the Sacramento Kings. Lakers had a 2-point lead with about 2:10 left, something like that. Sacramento went on an 8-0 run. Lakers didn't score in the final 2 minutes. They lost the game by 6. De'Aaron Fox, who's the best player on the Kings, took over the game. Give me the ball. I'm going to take over. I know guards are different than big men, but I think there's a way that big men could take over as well. And you just want to see more of that from Anthony Davis. It doesn't have to be 37 and 18 every night. It doesn't have to be what Embiid did yesterday with his 59 and almost quadruple double like he had. What do you have? 8 assists and 7 block shots and 11 rebounds. It doesn't have to be that. But can you be a player that every time you step on the floor, there's a legitimate threat that you can have a night like this. There's a legitimate threat that you could take over the game at any time. There's a will night in and night out to be the best player on the floor. And I think that's all we're asking for from Anthony Davis. To ask AD to be a top 10 player in the NBA does not sound like too much from me and from any Laker fan out there. That's the expectations. That's why you have a max contract. That's why the Lakers traded all those players to get you on the swaps, the pick swaps at the Lakers. The Pelicans this year will have their pick. That's why they did all that, was so that Anthony Davis at some point is the best player on the Los Angeles Lakers. It gives you some hope when you see him have a night like this, the 37 and 18, but it also frustrates you if he doesn't have another night like this for a month, or he starts kind of going back to his regular routine where it's the 23 and 9 like I'm talking about, but you don't feel his impact, or he doesn't take over the game in the fourth quarter when there's 2 minutes left on the clock and you need somebody to take over the game. The Lakers are obviously in an interesting spot. It's not a good place to be in. They're 3-10. They don't have their pick this upcoming year. At least there'll be a pick swap with the Pelicans. And you're trying to win right now. If AD can't be one of those top 10 players, then it's only going to continue to be a long season. And I'm not saying everything's on his back. However, when LeBron James is in his 20th season and you know he's going to probably be in and out of the lineup and things can happen and whatever the case is, just because of the mileage that he has, you want Anthony Davis to be the player that it's no hesitation. Hey, AD, that's the best player for the Los Angeles Lakers. Okay, we're scheduled for the Lakers this week as I throw this on there. By the way, as far as commenting on the conversation that we're having here, if you have some thoughts on Anthony Davis yesterday, if you have some thoughts on thinking AD can be that top 10 player still in the NBA, feel free to let me know in the comments. Always appreciate when you guys do comment. For me personally, I've said this before, I'll say it again. I got to see it to believe it. I don't believe it anymore. Even what he had yesterday, I don't believe that that's going to be there on a consistent basis where he is the best player on the floor unless he convinces us otherwise. So I think that's fair to say, and I think that's fair to do simply based on how he's performed so far. Okay, schedule. Really weird for the Lakers. No game tonight, no game tomorrow, no game Wednesday night, no game Thursday night. So Lakers are going to get 4 days off before they play on Friday. There could be some good news coming for the Lakers, and what I'm referring to there is just strictly from a health perspective for the Lakers. The hope is that LeBron James is ready to go. The hope is that some of these other players that have not been a part of the team so far this year, I'm talking about Dennis Schroeder, I'm talking about Thomas Bryant, there could be a good chance that everybody's back on Friday. So let's see what happens for the Lakers, but I think from a health perspective, that's certainly some good news. Laker fans, appreciate you guys being a part of the show. Remember, Lakers Talk Daily. Please subscribe to our channel on ESPNLA. Again, this is our YouTube channel. We're putting up a lot more content. So thank you for doing this. Have a great rest of your day. We'll get back with you guys tomorrow. Thanks, Laker fans.